Morning everybody, it's March the 11th. It's actually sunny, despite the fact that it was supposed to be horrible, and I'm pleased to say it's the official launch day of new Powerbrite Dark Spot Serum. I know I've had it for a few days and lots of you have been ordering it. I've only got 2 left of my launch deal, so if anybody wants those, message me, but I have got more coming in next week, so don't panic. You probably wonder what I've been doing over the last 3 months, apart from sending out all your lovely packages, which I love doing. But one of the things that Dermalogica and I am very keen on is to maintain our training and levels of knowledge. And in order to maintain my expert status within Dermalogica, I have to attend a number of training sessions throughout the year. And thankfully, Dermalogica were amazing at the beginning of the pandemic. Everything went online. We do lots and lots of tutorials and workshops and webinars. And this week and last week, I have attended two which have been fascinating. One was a revisit of my professional hyperpigmentation class, which I've done before. But it's always good to remind yourself. And then on this Monday, I sat in on a lecture from a Dermalogica instructor from Philadelphia who was amazing, and we learned about the science of melanin, and it was sort of mind-blowing really. And it's about how products and ingredients can really affect what's happening on your skin. So you know that I suffer from pigmentation and it's very dear to my heart, so I wanted to talk to you very briefly about it and what we can do to control excess pigmentation. Now, when we're talking about hyperpigmentation, we're not talking about the natural colour of your skin. I'm sort of medium tone skin, my mum's darker, you've got black skin, Asian skin. We're not talking about changing the colour of your skin. We are talking about controlling the excess pigmentation that comes to the surface and makes the skin look more mottled and uneven. And that actually, in turn, as you get older, makes you look older. So to have a nice even skin tone is much more useful. If you think of a child, how beautifully even their skin tone is, no blotches, and that's what we're trying to achieve when we're looking at controlling the excess pigmentation in the skin. But first of all, looking at why we get this pigmentation, there's a number of reasons. So first of all, it could be plain old sun damage. So, if you've been a sun worshipper all your life and you've not been great at putting your sunscreen on, absolutely you are going to have a number of age spots, liver spots, we call them, hyperpigmentation dotted around over the skin and neck. And I'm not going to say there's nothing we can do about that, but we can certainly help to fade them. Then you've got hormonal related pigmentation, hyperpigmentation, which is where I get mine from. So I suffered a bit through pregnancy, and fortunately, I think most pregnant women that get pigmentation, very often around the mouth, it tends to fade away after pregnancy and breastfeeding is finished. With the menopause, it's a little bit more stubborn and more persistent, let's say. So that's stimulated by hormones. There's a hormone that stimulates melanin to overproduce and come to the surface of the skin. And there are also proteins in the skin that do that as well. Then we've got stress. So who knew? Stress can cause hyperpigmentation. Now, stress releases cortisol into your body, and long-term prolonged stress, cortisol, we know, stimulates the hormone that produces melanin, or melanin stimulating hormone. So long-term stress is not good for pigmentation. So we've all been going through it for this last year. So is it any wonder that, some of us have got more blotchy? And then also we've got post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Now, some of my younger clients will really understand about this, because this comes about through either breakouts or injury to the skin. So you think about the little marks that are left behind when you've had breakouts. If you've had a lot of breakouts around your jawline, even once the breakouts have gone, you've got these dark pigmentation marks left behind. And long-term acne sufferers obviously then have long-term pigmentation over their skin. And this is because melanin, the reason you get this pigmentation after breakouts is melanin is anti-inflammatory. So when you've got an angry spot that's inflamed, melanin is released onto the surface to try and protect that spot and to bring the inflammation down. Now, if you add picking into that, which we all do, and you inflame it even more, is it any wonder you're left with long-term pigmentation or scarring? It may be flat, it normally is very flat, but it's still scarring of a type. So there's lots of ways that you can get pigmentation. It's a wonder if any of us have got, clear skin really. So what can we do about it? Well, we know that exfoliation is absolutely key, and that's something within the treatment room and at home. And if anybody's suffering from pigmentation, that's the first thing you need to really be good at is exfoliation. And for me, it's every single day. I mix my daily microfoliant into my resurfacing cleanser. Daily microfoliant's got rice bran enzyme, which tackles pigmentation, and skin resurfacing cleanser's got lactic acid. Speeds the cell turnover and smooths the skin. Incidentally, don't forget, daily microfoliant now comes in refill size. It's £5 cheaper than the normal size. And obviously it's much more eco-friendly because it's not got so much packaging. So you just snip it off, take the top off your old one, pop it in, job done. Same size, but just a little bit cheaper. And then I also use Rapid Reveal Peel once a week, which is, an even more of an intense exfoliator with more lactic acid. And then obviously in the treatment room, we have got really fantastic peels and exfoliators that can really target. We've got the Skin Brightening Peel, which I know lots of you fell in love with last autumn before we just shut down. We just launched Powerbrite. And it's an amazing treatment, but don't worry, it'll be here when you get back. And it's a real brightening treatment. It really does hone in on pigmentation and help to keep it under control and to smooth it down. So there's lots of things you can do at home with exfoliation. And then we've got treatment products. Now, these have come such a long way. Because we understand more about melanin and how it works and what triggers it, we now have ingredients that interrupt the signals that get you to produce the melanin. So for example, with the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, these ingredients are able to actually shut down that little communication that makes your skin say, I need to produce more melanin because I've got some inflammation. So, use of those products on a daily basis at home, which is where obviously this comes in, and in our professional serums that we put onto your skin, and then we use technology to drive those products into the skin, will help to really get on top of your long-term pigmentation issues and help to reduce it significantly. And then finally, obviously, the most, I don't know if it's most important, I suppose it is really, because if you don't do this, it's pointless doing everything else. Sun protection, you have got to use sun protection every day. And whether that is the Pure Light, which is an SPF 50, I would definitely say anyone with SPF, with sun protection, with pigmentation problems, go for an SPF 50 every day. If for general use, SPF 30 is fine. But these products have peptides in again, which carry on working with your serums to help reduce the pigmentation. But most importantly, they've got that protection to stop the trigger from the sun from producing more pigmentation. Because believe me, once you have hyperpigmentation, you never get rid of it completely. You have to sort of be in control of it really. So it is a question of exfoliation, treating, and protection. So that brings me back to Powerbrite Dark Spot Serum. So what's slightly different about this? So we have the C12 serum, which has been its forerunner and has been amazing, but we've got some added ingredients in here. We've still got the oleopeptides, which we know help to reduce the production of pigmentation, but we've now got ingredients here that interrupt the production of tyrosinase, which is an enzyme which is needed to stimulate the pigmentation. We've got ingredients that stop the spread of the pigmentation, even if it's formed, coming to the surface. So, it really isn't a magical product. I've been using it for 2 weeks, and I know some of you have seen my videos, and it's really starting to make a difference. So it's a once a day job, under your moisturizer in the morning. I know you've got lots of other serums you love. You can use those in the evenings, but this is to be used on its own. You do not mix this with other serums. Of course, you can still put eye creams on. If you don't need to treat your neck, you can still use the wonderful neck serum that came out a couple of months ago. So yes, that's it. It's £89. It's probably going to last me about 3 months, which is great. And then I shall carry on with it, definitely. It's just going to be part of my daily routine. As I said, I've got more coming in next week. If you've got any questions about pigmentation and you want to talk to me, please message me, and I will see you next time.